Hello, welcome back to my channel, you little wiggly sausages. Artfight is approaching, and this time I will not be unprepared. Last year it was my first time participating, however, I only had one character on my profile and not a single game plan on how I wanted to tackle the whole thing. But let's take a step back and I will explain for those of you who are new to the event what it actually is, how you can participate, what the general rules are, and how to customize your profile. I'll try to make it brief and understandable, so I might simplify a couple of things to get the general ideas across, so bear with me please. So, what is Artfight? Artfight is an annual art event that lasts 1 month, beginning every July. Each participant will be part of one of 2 teams. In order to score points for the assigned team, each artist will have to draw another participant's original character. This will be called an attack. At the end of the month, the team that has the most amount of points wins. The end. That is literally the most simple way I can put this. So if you are already interested in the premise, let me go a little bit more into detail. So when you are ready to join, you will be fully prepared. Artfight is not just a concept or a page on any social media, it is an actual website. And in order for you to participate or even just browse through other artists' profile, you'll need to make an account, which is completely free, but you must be at least 13 years of age to be able to register. Once you've got yourself an account, you can start customizing your own profile. This is what mine currently looks like, and as you can see, you've got a classic profile picture, your username, when you join the website, and the team you're on. It hasn't been updated yet by the time that I'm recording this, so it still shows the team I was on last year, which was Team Fossil. Then you see these 5 tabs, which we are going to explore in a second. But first, let's go down and see what's in this first one. So here is the bio or your description, whatever you want to call it. I've seen people going super crazy with the customization and I am really jealous because I could barely come up with these few designs. So basically, in my opinion at least, you should at least write about who you are briefly and what you like to draw / willing to draw. Anything else is really up to you, to be fair. You can also link your other socials directly in the bio, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, or through this pre-made link table. Here it shows your followers by previewing the most recent ones first. Then we get to the attacks section, which basically includes all the attacks you've done, although here on the first page you can only see the 6 most recent ones. Under that, there is the defenses section, which includes all the attacks you've received from other artists. But again, it only shows the most recent ones here. And lastly, there is the character section, which showcases all of your characters. If you want people to draw art of your OCs and therefore attack you, you must have at least one character registered in here. Next up is the statistic tab, which is pretty self-explanatory. To be fair, they all are. It might feel overwhelming, to be fair, for someone that is not familiar with this, but I promise you it's really not. Everything is explained clearly and it's all really simple. Anyways, on this tab, you're going to be able to see how many points you've accumulated from your attacks, how many attacks you've done, how many friendly fires you've done, which are basically attacks against people of your own team, which you can always do. You are just simply getting a little bit less points than usual. And then, of course, your defenses, aka how many attacks you've received from other people. and then your followers and how many people you're following, etc. At the bottom of the page, you can also find achievements if you are interested in that. Next up, on the Characters tab, we get greeted by perhaps the most important section of your whole profile, aka your global permissions. These are the boundaries you establish if people want to draw your characters. I would encourage you to spend more time setting this thing up than on your bio. These global permissions are going to be applied to every OC of yours. So there's no need to be specific about which character has some extra special requirements, because you can actually do that in another section that we're going to see later. Under your global permissions, there are of course your characters. So let's see what a characters page may look like. This is my girl Lilith here, and the first thing you'll see is a big ref sheet, which I absolutely recommend doing for any character you like other people to draw. It's just gonna make their life much more simpler. Then there are a couple more illustrations I did of her to showcase her a bit more. If we scroll down, we can see a description I gave her. Nothing much though, just a little bit of her backstory and what her personality is like. I wouldn't recommend dumping pages and pages of lore, because it's very likely that people are not going to sit through that. So keep it simple and just share what you think might be important for the characterization of your OC. If you really want to add lore, I would recommend including a link to a different page outside of Artfight where people can read more about your character if they are really interested in it. Then we got the character's permissions, which I was talking about earlier. So let's say you've got some extra special rules about a character and how it should or shouldn't be drawn. You will write them here, and they will not erase your global permissions. They will be added to them for this specific character. Of course, we got the owner and designer of the character in case you haven't drawn it yourself. And then there are tags which can be used to discover new characters. Now, some OCs may have a content filter turned on, which you will have to do yourself if it is your character. Just like my boy Zoragon here, because he ain't wearing a shirt. And so if people don't want to see that, they get warned and they can just move on. On a character's page, you can also see the attacks that it has received, which, as we have already established, are called defenses. Moving on to the main attacks tab, here you can see all the attacks you have ever done. One thing I like to point out is this little border that all these thumbnails have. This is something that a lot of people like to do during the event to decorate their attacks based on the team they're on, and I'll show you how to do it later. If we click on one attack, you can see the full picture, who the original owner is and how many points it got based on certain criteria that you need to fill in when submitting a character. Also, you may sometimes see another section under all that says revenge chain. So basically, you can avenge an attack you've received by drawing the other person's character too. Which is why Artfight may also be known as an art trading game. However, please do not harass people if they don't attack you back. Just because you have drawn someone else's character, that doesn't mean that now they have to gift you art as well. Besides, if you really wish to have someone's art so badly, you can always commission the artist if they are up for it. Anyways, moving on to the last tab, your defenses tab, which includes all the attacks you have ever received. Now let's go to this little edit icon over here, which will allow us to edit a bunch of stuff on our profile, including the bio. In the bio, you can add text, link, pictures, and emojis to your liking. However, in order for you to add pictures, you need to have the link to it. If you don't have the link because it's your own picture, you can use this website called File Garden. It's free to use, but you'll need an account. Essentially, it lets you upload pictures and then it generates the link to it. So you can copy that and use it on Artfight, basically. You can also make it so that if someone clicks on a picture you've used, it will take them to a different page, just like I did with my socials over here. To do that, just simply select the picture and click on the insert link icon that pops up when you do so. Don't forget to hit submit when you're done editing. As you can see, you can also edit your character's global permission, which again, it is very, very, very important. Do not skip this one. And then all the other tabs are all pretty self-explanatory, so there's no need to go through them in this video. You can just explore them by yourself and personalize your experience on Artfight. Next, I want to talk about how to add a character. Again, very simple. You'll have to click on the submit button on the top of the page, which, by the way, is going to also be the same one you'll need to press to make an attack on someone. And select character. Now you can just fill in the details of your character, like their name, general description of what they look like, and how they are personality-wise. You should also add any extra permissions and boundaries if necessary. It is also going to ask you if your character needs to be filtered, and you can see the criteria that would change the answer to that by clicking on Filter Guide. Speaking of which, I've just realized that I forgot to mention that if you go to Edit and then tap on the User tab, you can select your preferences regarding censoring or even completely hiding content that you will not be comfortable with, such as gore, body horror, nudity, etc. So because of that, every time you upload a character, you need to establish, based on Artfight rules and examples, if your character needs a filter for people that may not want to see certain things. Then you need to choose a main image, which in my case, as the first picture that people will see, I usually let it be the ref sheet. And then you need to add a thumbnail, which can be the same picture that you just added or something different. But it needs to show the character because that's what people will see and decide to click on. You can add a border to the thumbnail as well. I don't do this with my characters, but I do like to do it for the attacks I make. And the border is going to feature the aesthetic of the team I'm on for that year. Then lastly, you can add tags to ensure that people could potentially find your character more easily if someone is looking for a specific character to draw. If you need to add more images to a character or change something about them, you can always do that by going to the characters page and tap Edit. Now, speaking of finding characters to draw, there are actually multiple ways to do that. You can join Artfight Discord and scroll through the characters that people share over there, but if you don't have Discord or you don't want to use it, you can either take a look at the Artfight recent characters section on their front page, which is constantly updating because people be constantly adding new characters, and it shows the latest additions to the website, or alternatively, you can go to Discover and click on Characters. There, just write a few words that would describe what you are looking for. For example, if I type D&D, it's going to show me all the characters that have the D&D tag, and there they are my 2 characters that I've just uploaded. When you have found a character that you like, but it is not time to draw yet, by the way, you cannot start drawing attacks before the beginning of Artfight, as stated in the rules. Otherwise, you will get banned permanently. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, wait, when you found a character that you like, you can save that character by bookmarking it. You can create multiple folders as well for your bookmarked characters. I have one where I dump all the characters I like, and every now and then I just move the ones that I really feel inspired to draw in another folder. And when I'm done with the attack, I'll move the characters to my drawn folder. I would recommend checking out the attack guide too, because it's going to tell you what you need to select when making an attack in order for you to get the right amount of points. Although I think it would be way too much information at once, and frankly, I always just keep a tab open with this page when I'm actually making an attack, and I need to reference it as I'm uploading my drawing. But yeah, it basically shows what is considered portrait, half body, full body, sketch, rendered or non-rendered, and all other kinds of stuff that the website will make you choose between when uploading your art as an attack. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Once again, I am going to participate this year as well, so the link to my profile is in the description if you want to bookmark any of my characters. I think I'm going to add a couple of more. I'm still working on them. I don't know if I will make it in time by Artfight, but we'll see about that. And if you are also going to participate, feel free to leave the name of your profile in the comments section. Don't think the links work, so that's why I'm saying just type the name of your profile, because your comment might get flagged automatically by YouTube. No idea, whatever, just to be safe. So yeah, whatever, just feel free to leave your name in the comments section and tell everyone what you would like to draw and what kind of OCs you have available. Perhaps this way we can all start connecting early and have even more characters available to draw. Yeah. But anyways, thank you for watching and listening to my yapping session.